Hello everyone and welcome to Era Military Collectibles. So we'll give it a few minutes for people to start turning up. So I'll check to see if the notification went out. So how is everyone? Army Dude, hello from Latvia. Hello, how are you? Jim Timber, hello, how are you? I hope you're all doing good. Well, Andrew Johnson, evening, hello. How are you, mate? How are we all doing? Cold War Chemical, how are you? I hope we're all keeping well. Bit strange, doing a live tonight. I'm going to wait till a few more people come in, and I'm going to time it. What we're actually going to do is we're going to have a moment's silence for, we all know why, the Queen of England passed away. No, John, why are you doing a moment's silence? One, it's respect. Two, she was someone's mother, she was someone's grandmother, she was someone's wife. And two, she also did an awful lot for Ireland, believe it or not. She was the first monarch since Queen Victoria to come to Ireland. She was the first monarch to come since Ireland has been a republic. She was the first monarch to leave a wreath at the Garden of Remembrance to represent the soldiers and men that died for Ireland's independence. So she did represent Ireland as well in a certain light. Um, we're not going to play the last post, Army Dude. That is, I don't believe it's played for Monarchs. I know it's played for military personnel, but I don't know if it's played for Monarchs. So I'm just looking at the clock here. We've been online for 3 minutes, or sorry, for 2.5 minutes. When it gets to 3 minutes, we'll have a moment's silence if everyone is okay with that. David, hello, good evening. How are you? So as I said, she might have been the monarch or the Queen of England, but she did do an awful lot for Irish history in the fact that she was the first queen to visit Ireland, the first monarch to visit Ireland since Queen Victoria, first to lay wreaths at Gardens of Remembrance and stuff like that. So we're coming up on the 3 minutes, so we'll have a moment's silence now. Now, so there we go. There was a moment's silence for the Queen. As I said, she did do an awful lot for Irish politics, Irish in general, and the fact that she was the first monarch before Queen. I think Queen Victoria was the last one to visit Ireland on a royal capability. Um, she was the first queen or first monarch even to visit Ireland and place a wreath on the Garden of Remembrance for both British Irish soldiers that died in the British Army and for the War of Independence, believe it or not. So there you go. So bad evening because what happened, Queen? No, it's not. It's not a bad evening. Look, I mean, the Irish celebrate life rather than mourn. I don't know if any of you have been ever to an Irish funeral or an Irish wake, as they're called. Yeah, we celebrate life rather than be sad, I suppose, about it. She was working 2 days before she died. She didn't she meet the new prime minister. I don't even know who the new prime minister. I know it's a girl of England, but I knew she had met her to give her seal and stuff. Or had she met her? I'm not sure. But I thought that was the last piece of business she did before she passed away, unfortunately. It was rather quick, actually. Was it old age or was it COVID or whatever that got her? I uh, just all of a sudden, just on the telly, she's been under medical supervision. The next thing, she's passed away. So yeah, it was a bit strange. Um, yeah, it was a bit strange. It's interesting in a collector's field or a collector's world what's actually going to happen, because you're going to have um, a lot of cat badges and stuff. I mean, it's going to be an awful lot of stuff's going to happen. Cat badges will have to be changed. I was just looking here at the Royal Military Police one that I have handy. That cipher in the middle will have to be changed. Queen's Crown will have to be changed. Money will have to be changed. Stamps are going to have to be changed. So yeah, there's a lot of changes going on. Like before, it was easy to collect cat badges, where it's going to be a bit more difficult now. Whereas you had a change of metal around the middle 90s. You had stay brights and stuff like that. But literally, you had to worry about Queen's Crown and King's Crown. Now, if the King's Crown comes back into it again, you're going to see an awful lot of remolded stuff coming out. Yeah, see that. CJ did do a video on it today, which I did find very interesting. I thought the crown was the same. No, he has the right to pick his crown, I believe, from what I've researched that I've been doing today. He could go back to his grandfather's crown, which is still in the Crown Jewels, I suppose, in the Tower of London. Or he could wear the Queen's crown as well. It's up to him, pretty much. It will take many years to transfer over the C111R and King's Crown. It probably will. I'm sure they're not going to just go, here you go, in the morning. You can't have them anymore. Evening all, CJ, hello, how are you? New ciphers and crowns, even rank insignia for warrant officers and majors would change. I didn't know that. Oh, sure, they're crowns. Yeah, they're Queen's crowns. But I do believe it's up to King Charles now, I suppose. I was going to call him Prince Charles. But King Charles, why have I a shadow there? I actually don't have a shadow there, lads. I don't have a little Hitler stash going on. It's just a shadow. There we go. But yeah, it's strange, I suppose. Like that, from what bit of research, I don't know anything about the monarchy and the royal family and stuff. I know bits and bobs of it. I know it goes to Charles, who is now King Charles, but I thought he was ordained or whatever it is, kinged straight away. But Danny, Herefordshire Regimental Museums there, said he won't actually be knighted until next year, or kinged, or I don't know what the proper title is on it. Then his missus doesn't actually become a queen. She's a queen consort because she doesn't have royal family, or because she's a divorcee or something like that. I can't remember. William is now second in line to the throne. Sorry, yeah, William. Is it William? Yeah, William is now second in line to the throne. His kids then become third, whereas it's bypassed William, who has now become, or Harry, who has now become sixth in line to the throne. So yeah, so I was trying. It was all confused today, trying to work it all out. Anointed or something like that. I don't know what it is. I thought it was literally. I thought they couldn't have. They had to have a king straight away. We'll go. Yeah, I couldn't. I thought they couldn't have a. I thought they had to have him and baptized, ordained. I don't know whatever it is straight away. Made king. I didn't know there was going to be a gap. William is first and Prince of Wales, Duke of Cornwall, and Cambridge. I know Is it Harry is after getting all his Scottish titles now? Charles' Scottish titles, I believe. I do remember seeing somewhere that. Yeah, but it's going to be interesting. Because I guarantee you will see an awful lot of repop stuff when if he does decide to go to the King's Crown. You will see an awful lot of repop stuff being sold as World War II and World War One stuff, because back then it was the King's Crown, which would have been Elizabeth's father. Yeah, I can't. How come? Remember, you had the Queen Mother. So when the King died, how come it didn't go to the Queen Mother, or did it go to the Queen Mother and then she made Elizabeth? I don't know. Was it because she was married into the family and that wasn't actually a royal? I don't know. At the moment of the Queen's death, Charles became king. Oh, I understand that, but publicly, I thought he was going to be, because isn't it the Bishop of York that has to give him the crown or something like that? I think he said in his speech that the Scottish titles passed on to William. Oh, okay. The full coronation service will be in September next year. Okay, be so much easier if I could go live. I don't know how you could go live. I don't think there's a way. Can I invite somebody on this way to do a live? I know I didn't download the program that I was told to give. Can I invite someone? Hang on a second now. Edit. What happens if I edit? Nope, 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 nope. Yeah, I don't know how you can do it. Invite somebody on a live this way. Is there participants? Click on your name. What happens? Pin message, report, remove. Put user in timeout. Hide this channel and remove moderator. No, don't want to do any of that. Yeah, let's figure it out. Are you working tonight anyway, Denny, or are you off? We do what we actually are. That's going to be one of my first guests there. Is going to be Hereford Regimental Museum. I do have a video coming up of the Hereford Regimental Museum. It will possibly be next weekend though, because I need to edit it. I just haven't edited it. I haven't got my mojo back after coming back from England, where I was at the Victory Show. Fantastic show, that's huge, massive show. I didn't do much filming. I did a bit of filming. So we'll try and get around to it all. I just spent nearly 90 quid getting medals mounted after getting the Jubilee medal, going to cost me a fortune if there's a coronation medal as well. Oh yeah, so he'll have the so there'll be another medal involved. William also inherited Prince of Wales title and his wife became the Princess of Wales. So what does Harry get then? Does Harry get nothing? Pretty much. Down cadets tonight planning for the regional proclamation on Sunday. Regional proclamation. You're going to declare, is Herefordshire going to declare a republic? Because Harry gets the ginger hair. I actually like Harry. I think he seems to be a down to earth type of guy, and I know he's trying to protect his family and stuff like that. That was the whole thing about going to England or going to America, to try and stay out of the paparazzi's eye. Yes, I understand an awful lot of people aren't happy with the decisions he made, but I understand why he made them as well, if you get me, I suppose. Harry gets nothing. He rejected all royal duties for the American. Yeah, so there we go. Hereford Regimental Museums will be one of the people that doesn't think he deserves anything. But I do understand why he did it. But I do believe she should have been briefed a bit more. She should have known what she was getting into. She's marrying a bloody prince, for God's sake. So I think it was a bit silly of a mistake, but I do understand why he did it, and I do see why he did it. But yeah, so enough about Queen. I was at the Victory Show. Fantastic show. I was with Denny Reese, who was there, Herefordshire Regimental Museum. Absolutely did a lot for me. Fantastic lad, fantastic chap. My brother from another mother. and I was there with Living History UK lads. We were representing the 1st Battalion First Battalion SAS Regiment. Just after D-Day in 1944, we had two SAS jeeps and one airborne jeep, and we actually managed to get out onto a DC-3 to have our pictures taken with the DC-3. You will see all that in the video of the victory show, and it's all coming up. It's all going to be fantastic. Harry Kane claimed going to America to escape the press, then sign up to Netflix. I suppose that is very, very true. That is very, very true. But isn't there a rumour that the reason he signed it up for Netflix was because he was cut off, and then the Queen stepped back in and said, "No, that you can't cut him off." Can't remember correctly, but I do believe they've made amends in the last couple of months. They've started talking, put the family back together and stuff. So that's good. Family's family. Family is important. But yeah. So, what videos have we coming up? We have a video coming up of the Herefordshire Regimental Museum. We have a very short video of a graveyard that I was lucky enough to visit. We have a video coming up of the Victory Show. We have part 2 and 3 of British Army Ration Pack that Andrew Johnson gave me there, who is another member of the boss of a group that I am affiliated with called the Herefordshire Regiment, or not the Herefordshire Regimental Museum, the Combined Forces Living History Group, or the Queen's Old Self-Laddering Rifles, depending on what we're doing. And we will be at the Living History UK Festival, which is in about 7 months' time, and we will be doing Up Banner. So if any of you are around, come and say hello. Yes, I know I'm plugging something else again, but I'm not plugging. I'm just getting people to getting it advertised that we will be there representing Up Banner at the Living History UK Festival that is on in something Furnace. Can't think of the name right now, but it will be there. According to the dates come on, I will give you more. 48 weeks to go till the wartime experience. You're not counting anything, Andrew, are you? You're not waiting. Although I must say I'm a bit biased there now, small bit. The victory show had certain points that I enjoyed more than the Yorkshire Wartime Experience, and then on the other hand, other things happened in the Yorkshire Wartime Experience that I enjoyed a bit more than the victory show. If I could combine both of them, they were both equally fantastic gigs, fantastic shows. But yeah, it's like that. You've good in every show and you've bad in every show. Suppose the bad in the victory show was stuff was massively priced. Traders, food stands, drink stands, massively priced. And where we were inside in the woods was well set up. The Germans were in their areas, so there was a bit of a structured timeline. The only issue I would have was that when we got there, no one had a bull's notion where we were, what site we were on. We eventually got down to all the way down to the end of the field, where there was a guy just standing there on his own. He was the only one that had a map, and he was the only one that knew how it was to get us to where we were. First of all, they wanted us in jeeps now, remember. Original 1940. Danny's is 1942, and Dean's was 1943. So, original jeeps. They wanted us to go over a footbridge that wouldn't have taken the weight of the jeeps. First of all, it was too narrow. So then we had to go all the way back around again and through the woods to get in. So yeah, that was a bit, yeah. Sorry, there's a lot of stuff coming in here. When Prince Philip died, Royal Marines played the last post. When Philip died, okay. So they do play the last post at Royals. I didn't know that. I thought that was reserved for military. Some top video in the pipeline. Then I look forward to them. Yeah, there's some. You used to enjoy the Royal Tournament. I used to enjoy the Royal Tournament. Yeah, there are some videos coming up. There's some fantastic videos coming up. There will be a Vietnam video coming up. Guess the uniform. Stan isn't in tonight, actually. I tried to give him a ring earlier on today, but I don't know whether he's away. Where is he? Did I see him? Is he away? Stan. I don't know, he could be away. I was texting him the other night. Normal gig organisation then. Yeah, it was good. It was a good show. It was a good show. I enjoyed it. The B-17 was there. I believe it's the only one in Europe left. Still flying. There was a Messerschmitt. There was a Hurricane. There was a Spitfire. There was a Mustang. There was a Seaboat. I don't know if Danny's still there. He'll probably be able to know all the planes because I'm not really a plane guy. But yeah, it was good, and it was organised well because you had like an airstrip where the planes were. Now you couldn't exactly get in to see them very well, but they had reenactors or living historians set by um, the airfield, and the Messerschmitt flew over, and then the sirens went, and all the guys that were doing living history event took off running, and the next thing then you see the Spitfires and the Hurricanes taking off. So yeah, it was very well done that way. It could just give a bit of immersion, a bit of realism, I suppose, about it. I didn't go see the battles actually because I was too busy dealing with something else. There was a battle in the woods that we used to get. Well, we didn't get involved in. We were in the woods, so we get covered in smoke, and it was mental. Then there was another big battle in the arena, and the first day, I think it was the first day, they set fire to half the field nearly. They did a small bit of overzealousness with the pyrotechnics. So yeah. But yeah, what's his name was there from Combat Dealers with twins and the tank. His tank that he had made. Simon Moore, yes, he was spotting flies in the woods. Believe it or not, there wasn't that many flies in the woods. Mosquitoes, we thought we'd be absolutely destroyed in them, but there wasn't. There was a nice little breeze there, and actually, thankfully, we were in the woods because it was quite warm on both days. But because we were in the woods, we were shaded, and there was a breeze in the woods as well. So yeah, so we didn't. You could feel the temperature rise when you come out of the woods, and you were into the open field where the main displays was. There was there was one big huge main display. Hail to God for Piro. Yeah, it was good now. Dealer wise and stuff like that, you had the usual. You had Soldier Fortune there and some big dealers. Excuse me. There was some little deals there to have. There wasn't much there dealer wise. I guarantee you, if they were there this week, now there'll all be plates of Queen Elizabeth and everything be set for sale. But yeah, there was one or two little bits of deals there. I did pick up a. If I can remember where I put it, I did pick up a reproduction Royal Ulster Rifles cap badge because I wanted it for my own collection. It actually looks really authentic. King's Crown, until you turn it back, until you see the back of it, and you can actually see the stamp marks and the swarf and stuff like that. So it's not completely finished as a reproduction. Plus, there's no name on the slide. There's normally a name there, but yeah. So that's a Royal Ulster Rifles cap badge that I picked up. I paid about I think it was £5 I paid for it, which isn't a bad deal. And then I can see Andy there in the background. Andrew. Buddy. There's that bit. I need that bit. And I know my cross rifles are in here somewhere. There we go. So Andrew, it did come in the post. It came today actually. With my black watch cap badge that I need to put onto my hat. So thank you very much. I got that. Plus I also got my Queen's self-loading rifles cap badge that I need to put on a beret, which goes that way. people are going like, Queen's Own Self-Loading Rifles? What the hell is that? Queen's Own Self-Loading Rifles is our group's regiment that we do when we're portraying a banner or we're portraying naughty stuff, because people get upset when they see their cap badge being used on checkpoints or up banner type stuff, because they're like, they have a lot of pride and a lot of respect in their cap badges, and so do we. That's why we came up with our own cap badge. So it's not 100% authentic, but it stops all of that. Wouldn't have happened. You wouldn't have done that, and we weren't there at that moment in time. It's like, okay, whatever. This is our own cap badge, and I haven't worn it at events, but the lads have worn it at events, and apparently they've had people coming up to them going, I recognise that cap badge. That's from something or whatever. But yeah. Brilliant. Was the combat dealer bloke treating all his mates to a C word for huge profit? I don't understand what you mean by a C word. I didn't get talking to him. I did talk to him at Yorkshire. Wasn't talking to him this time. We were doing a lap with Danny and the boys in the vehicles. We were doing just driving around the site pretty much, and we were called over, and he wanted to see Danny's Jeep and Dean's Jeep and stuff like that. And he was now remember, Danny's Jeep, Herefordshire Regimental Museum, when you do see the videos and you see the pictures of it, that was in pieces for the last 4 months. I flew over on the Wednesday, and we were supposed to go up on Thursday to the show. But what happened was, I flew in on the Wednesday. Thursday, the gun mount, was it Thursday? It was Thursday. Thursday night, the gun mount, or Thursday at lunchtime, the gun mount only arrived for his Jeep. So we started putting it together at 1 o'clock, and we finished at 11 o'clock that night. So we decided we were going to stay in there, and the following morning, we buggered off into up to Yorkshire, up to the Victory Show. Queen's Own Self-Loading Rifle cap badge does confuse folk. It does. I can understand why, and I do see. Thursday, Channel 4, 9 o'clock. My grandfathers wore famous celebrities, traced their grandparents' war activities. That sounds very interesting. That sounds very, very interesting. I'll make a note of that. I will make a note of that because that sounds very interesting. But yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk to him this time. I did talk to him in Yorkshire, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him this time. But yeah, Danny's Jeep was literally stripped apart and rebuilt in the last 4 months. So when you see the pictures of it and when you see the Jeep, you're going, how in the hell did you do that in 4 months? But he did do it. Fair play to him. He bought it as a really, really, really disgusting navy. It was a bit of a fantasy. It was done for a ship that they could have had this Jeep when they came to port. I don't know how true that is. I don't know much about naval history, but apparently this was the story that ships in the fleet had a Jeep on them that for their captains or whoever the hell would go around meetings, they'd hoist them on and hoist them off. I don't know how true that is. But the Jeep itself was a grey, but it wasn't a battleship grey, Johnny. It was a flat grey. It was a matte grey. And it just had stickers and livery stickers all over it to just look completely wrong. So Danny restripped it, repainted it, sandblasted the whole lot, and did it up as an SAS Jeep, and he did a fantastic job of it. I was actually driving it. Sort of fell in love with it. So if any of you know of any cheap, reasonable Jeeps around there, send them my way. But yeah, it was nice. It was nice to drive, and it was nice to be around as well. We did get an awful lot. We had an awful lot of foot traffic past. We didn't technically have a stand at the Victory Show. We had three Jeeps parked, and we basically hung around the Jeeps, and people come over asking us questions about the Jeeps and what we were wearing and stuff like that. So we didn't actually have a stand. So if you actually, when you see the video, you're going to see pictures of us rather than an actual video of the stand, because we didn't actually have a stand. We literally just stood around the jeeps, and was that me, or did you just see something fly behind me, go up and straight down? So yeah, so that was the crack. I will try and figure out how to do this programming stuff, and do a live with Mr. Daniel at some point in time, and some other guys as well. I'll try and do a live with them as well. Ralph, hello there. How are you, Ralph? Thanks for popping in. So, let me do. It was a ghost that was floating. It wouldn't surprise me. The Irish are very, very superstitious about that type of stuff. Yeah, and I am a certain bit suspicious about certain things, but yeah. Do. That's all right. I have lots of AKs and stuff. Actually, there's an Irish saying: "Ghosts won't hurt you. It's the living that you need to worry about." So there you go. Nice little bit of Irish folklore for you. So, boys, I've been rambling for the last half an hour. Have any of you any questions, or would you like to talk to me about something? The Queen was ATS during. She actually. I think she signed up. Did she sign? She voluntarily signed up for the duration of the war, and her husband Philip, he was on the ship. He was in the Navy, and if I remember correctly, he was on the ship that the Japanese signed the surrender, or he was in the port that the Japanese signed the surrender anyway, as far as I remember. A World War II vet. She was a World War II vet. What criteria do you use to determine that it is a ghost? There's any of you ever hear? One second. There's answer some more questions. Did I get any funny Fanta at the Victory Show? I did get some funny Fanta at the Victory Show. I even got a purple one at the Victory Show, which wasn't as nice as the fruit one, but yeah, I did get some funny Fanta. Prince Philip was a war hero. I know did he? I think it's something to do with Commandos as well at one time. Dear friends, I have a good tip. What was I saying? Yes, so in Irish mentality, you have a couple of things. You have the Banshee, which is Scottish as well, I think. I think the Scots have the Banshee as well. And she's basically a witch that screams when somebody's about to die. You also have a thing called the Coach de Boer, which is a headless horse and a coach that takes somebody's soul to the afterlife. So they'd be the two main witchy type things that you would have. And if you've ever heard, I believe I've heard a Banshee at least once. And when you hear a Banshee, it sounds like a fox hunting, a fox screaming. It's a weird sound. There is actually a sound on YouTube that apparently is supposed to look like it. We have Banshees here too. She lives next door. Yeah. You have the Coach de Boer. Then you have an awful lot of superstition in as well. You have like fairies, fairy forts, ring forts, things like that. There is a motorway about 20 minutes from me that they rerouted around a fairy tree because no one would cut it. It is bad luck, apparently, to cut a fairy tree. What? What to do? Leprechaun's class says. What do Leprechaun's class says? Do you have a moaning morag? We don't. Sounds similar, but it's not the same. War movie tip: The Last Drop, 2006, a robbery World War II movie set during Market Garden. Okay, we'll have to have a look at that. My condolences on the Queen's passing for anyone who's affected by that. When I had a drink one evening with Royal Marine in the evening, interesting spooky things happened. with Royal Marine in the evening and spooky things happen. There's a prison, a jail in Offaly, apparently supposed to be the most haunted building in Ireland. But yeah, sorry, getting back to the motorway. No one, builders, the guys building the motorway all refused to do anything with this tree, so they literally built the motorway around it. No one had cut it, no one had do anything with it. A fairy tree is a single tree in a field for absolutely no reason why it's there. It's just one single tree. They're known as fairy trees, and they're apparently where the fairies meet and have dances and stuff like that in Irish myth. I know you're all thinking, "Oh, I want to crack or smoke or something," but no. Spooky things happen in the forest. In the forest, gremlins, slit trench, and Victory. That was a very, very scary area at the Victory show. The gremlins funk hole, his little trench. Did you actually see that, Danny? Did you see the video he put up today of on the TikTok of? He got some stuff off Epic to do a review on, so he did that. Funky little dude, nice guy. But yeah, so yeah, Gremlins and Irish mythology or stuff is very, very strange. The house I grew up in was built in 1834. A land grant from Revolutionary War service. It was the first brick house in the area, and the son was killed by Native Americans while building it. He was buried across the street in the field. Oh, that's interesting. I did actually one time, because I did do an awful lot of research on General Custer's Last Stand, because a lot of the guys, one guy that they found came from my hometown. He was an Irish guy that emigrated to America, as a lot did. An awful lot of the 7th Cavalry were were Irish, Swiss, and German, believe it or not. But yeah, so I did do an awful lot of stuff about him and research about Little Bighorn and the Indians and stuff like that. Excuse me. And their culture actually is fantastic. It's very, very interesting, the Native Americans' culture. I know you're not going to call them Indians anymore, but the Native Americans' culture. Can you film the scene of the Battle of... Can you film the scene of the Battle of Kilmichael Ambush? I can film the area of Kilmichael Ambush, but I can't film the scene of Kilmichael Ambush because I don't have auxiliaries, Black and Tans, British Army, and IRM. Spooky things happen there. He's still living in that house, this old helmet. A fellow potato eater. He was, yeah. It was back then at the family party and full of DDRT. All the best to you lads. Stan, welcome. We were wondering where you were. I tried to ring you earlier on, actually, Stan, but you never answered me. So that explains where you are now, though. Filming the battle. I can do Kilmichael. There's another battle or another ambush site near me called Ratduff. I can do that one as well. No, I moved out to my parents, sold it a few years ago. I would have bought it, but the heating bill was outrageous. What part of the states are you in? Because I have family in Nashville, Tennessee. I have family in New York, in Orange County, New York. Up where they filmed the Choppers, American Choppers, if you remember that TV show. I have been there. I have been to their old site. Hello, Stan. Hello, Andy. How was your show, actually, Andy? Your last show that you did? Was it Beamish? Squirrel, okay. Yeah, it was Beamish. I know there was a few of you that went to a show up there, which I found very interesting because it's a little village. Is it a village or a town that they've set in the First and Second World War era that you can go in and around, and you can get buses and trams and stuff around, which I find very, very interesting. But yeah. So if any of you are wondering what this uniform here behind me, this is a Pixie Australian uniform. There will be a video on that coming up soon, hopefully this weekend. The place where were we drunk with Royal Marines was near the ruins of an old castle. We even heard someone was walking. Um, that's spooky. I can remember being in a house one time of somebody who had just passed away, and they were actually at the funeral home. And in Ireland, um, they used to put a black reed on people's doors, but they stopped doing it because people would break into the house because they know people were at funerals. So what some people used to do, well, what became the trend was when the family, the neighbours and stuff, um, when the family went to the funeral home and the mass and stuff like that, some neighbours would go to the house and stay in the house to mind the house while people came back, before people came back, because that's where you had the wake. So I was in a house by myself, and I could remember the lights flickering, and I said something in my head. I just said, the person that had passed away, I said their name, and I said, if you're here, turn the lights back on, and the lights came back on. Scared the crap out of me. I did smoke at the time. I was sitting outside smoking cigarettes. I think I smoked a 20 box, waiting for the other people to arrive. That did scare me, that one, actually. It was really impressive, like a massive living history village. I'd love to go see it. Maybe next year sometime, maybe. I'm near Shenandoah, Tennessee now. Just a couple of hours from Nashville. If you visit, I'll give you a guide, a grand Shenandoah battlefield tour, giant gun collection from matchlocks to World War One. Very, very cool. Yes, I do have family over. As I said, I have family in Nashville, Tennessee, outside Nashville. Um, they're mad to get me over. I would love to go see the American battlefields, um, especially where the Irish fought, the Irish brigades like Gettysburg and places like that. Um, yeah, I would like to go see some of them. Will the English cap badges now get the Royal King's crown back? I don't know. I can't answer that question because apparently I thought they would. I thought they'd just take out Queen Elizabeth's father's crown. That's probably still in. I presume it is. I presume it's still. It wasn't broken up and reused, but I presume it's still in the National Trust or in the Crown Jewels. Um, I just thought they would have taken his out, dusted it off, and given it to him. But apparently, he has the choice of what crown he wants to use. He can either use the Queen's crown, his mother's crown, or he can use his grandfather's crown, or I believe he can even have a crown made if he wants. So I'm not sure. The new king will have the choice of crowns: the current Edward's Queen's crown or the King's crown. Then badge manufacturers will. I mean, yeah. So that's it. They will have to do this though. Is you have the scroll, the Queen's royal cipher. That will have to be changed. I presume in a lot of them. Stamps will have to be changed. Money is going to have to be changed. Coins will have to be changed. But yeah, so there we go. I have where have we gone? I have a 1939 wine bottle labelled Chateau Latour. I managed to put the ghost of Hitler in it. I actually have, thanks to Danny from Regimental Museums, or Herefordshire Regimental Museum, a very, very special item that will probably never ever be used, but it is the 22 SAS Special Air Service Regiment Taylor's Reserve Port, and apparently it's just bottled and produced for them. So there you go. Try and get a focus. Focus. Do I kiss it? No. But it is for the 22 SAS. So there you go. Yeah. I actually had it on its side for the trying to make sure the cork stayed wet. So now it's standing up again. So, guys, we're nearly done an hour already. So it's a 8:45. So if any of you have any last questions, please fire them out to me, and we will have some. Last 15 minutes is always. Last 10 minutes um, is always the last questions. FN or Steyr? I use both, but I prefer the Steyr. Um, Steyr is fantastic. Now it is a smaller round. It is a 7.6 or 5.56. It's a lot lighter. It's a lot easier to use. They have changed the sights on it, so it's got the ACOG sight on it now, which has made it more accurate. I've never broke one of them. Never had any issues with it. You never have any issues with the Steyr. The only issue you will have with the Steyr are blank grounds, the gas. The blank grounds sometimes don't feed correctly when you have the BFA on them, so you have to make alterations. But yeah, Steyr. Now that bottle of port is a nice find. It was actually given to me as a present. I didn't find it. It was given to me as a present by Mr. Danny Reese of Herefordshire Regimental Museums. He collects SAF stuff, and I believe he's from Hereford, so I presume he knows some guys around that area. But that's where he got it from anyway. It happened to me when I was looking at the cemeteries in my city. I saw a man in a blue shirt, and suddenly he disappeared. Oh, we're talking about the ghost again. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm very very skeptical about. Not skeptical. I'd be very. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not skeptical. It's. Oh, I said it earlier on, and I can't remember. I would believe in spirits and stuff like that. Passports would have to be changed. Imagine that fun that will be. Oh, why have the passports got to be changed? Is there a picture of the Queen in the passports? Or is it the Royal Cipher on it? And a good glass of wine. Oh, that's so nice. I don't say no because I drink too. Yeah, so that's where I got my bottle of port. Never to be opened. Never, ever to be opened. I'd never come across another one of them, and I doubt any would as well. So, yeah, so it's up there now. Pride of place. It is an admin nightmare to sure. Why do the passports have to be changed? Is there the seal on it, or is the Royal Cipher on it, or what's on it? I presume, like as Danny said, that there's going to be a wind down period or a build up period. They're not just going to go from Monday. We're not accepting anything with the Queen's crown on it anymore, or the Queen on it. It has to be Charles. I don't know. Like they couldn't just take all the currency off the market and replace him replace it with her, or with him, I should say. It says Her Majesty something or other on the passports. Oh, okay. Well, like she was I believe she was the longest serving monarch ever. I think because the passports have the wording in the name of Her Majesty as part of the declaration, which means it would not be a legal document. Oh, okay. There will be a wear out period. I presume there has to be something like that. They can't just pull everything off the market and go, nah, not happening. Oh. But will Charles still be the patron of the British First Airborne? And is he coming to Arnhem next week? I presume he will. I presume he still holds his titles. I know Princess Anne is the Commander-in-Chief of the Irish Guards. It used to be the Queen Mother was the Commander-in-Chief of the Irish Guards. So I presume those titles stay the same, unless they pass to his son. I don't know. Every year Charles lays a wreath at Oostebek. I will be in Oostebek next year, 2024. There's a few of us going over for the Armistice or for the Arnhem Festival. Yeah, 2024, not 2023, 2024. We're going over. Should be good. Should be good. I started saving for that already. Every year. Oh, sorry, I read that one. All right, guys. So 10 minutes. 10-minute warning. So any questions, throw them at me. If not, forever hold your peace. And all that type of stuff. I'll see you in Oosterbeek. You're more, if you see me there, you're more than welcome to come over and say hello to me. I did have one or two people come up to me at the Victory Show going, I know you. And I went, well, I don't know you. Who are you? It happened to me once actually when I was with Simon Moore. I just left Simon and somebody had passed me by to go talk to Simon or whatever. And then when they came back around, you were actually John Shannon from Air Military Capsules. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, oh, sorry, I didn't recognize you. I'm the only one here with a Southern Irish accent. But yeah. What's my favourite World War II tank? Oh, Firefly. Sherman Firefly, probably. It was the only one. The British had a few of them, but the Firefly was the one that sort of leveled the playing field against Tigers and that type of stuff. But yeah, Sherman tank itself in general was a bit of a disaster. The reason that it did so well was because they could mass produce so many of them so quickly, but it wasn't an effective tank really. Hence why it became the name of Tommy Cooker. But when they rearmed it with the mounting of a Firefly, then it started could give as good as it's got. The only people that ever approached me were the police. Jim. I'm sorry I didn't pick it up. There was a guy there and he had some Polish bits and bobs, but it was modern Polish. He had black Polish berets, which I presume were armoured. And he had modern black DPMs, their Woodland version. But that was it. He didn't have any of those officers' caps or those dress caps that I was looking for. The name's gone out of my head. The 3-corner one or the 4-corner one. Rugged Chief cap. Didn't have any of them. But yeah, there was a guy there. I'm very, very skeptical about buying relics because, quite frankly, you could actually see, like, the stuff he had done. The paperwork was done on printers and it was laminated and stuff like that. So I mean, it was easy copy. I understand why people get it, and I can understand the attraction behind it, but I just don't know, because he was looking at massive money for, like, say, a piece of metal like that from Messerschmitt 109 crash landed it wherever. You're actually buying the story, and you're buying this paperwork that could have been done on a printer. Now I understand lots of that stuff is done, relics is done, and I understand why people are buying it, and I can see it, but like, he was paying, he was looking for like £120 for this piece of metal off a Messerschmitt. The provenance was something that I could have printed up with my laptop. But yeah. What to do? The only people that ever approached me. The Firefly has little room in it. Its turret. It was not fun. No, it wasn't. It wasn't fun for the crew, but at least they had a fighting chance with that gun on it compared to what it used to have. There's lots of relics here in Poland made in the last few years. Yeah, exactly. We were talking about it one time on a live. That some guy in Holland, or he knew some guy in Holland that would bury his stuff. But say if he'd dig it up for a show next week, and then he'd rebury it, and then he'd have people on his land metal detecting to find stuff on a battlefield that he was after burying, like, which is a bit. Relics, Old Rus. The 3rd British Infantry Division fought in the Netherlands and in Norway. They did, I believe. Ralph, as king, there's lots of duties Charles will have to give up. He has passed lots of duties to Prince William, and said on TV broadcast this afternoon, military collectibles. Okay, I see. What is a reasonable price for a World War II Lancashire cap badge. I do not know off the top of my head. If you're original World War II, I know for a Royal Ulster Rifles original, you play anywhere between £30 to £50, depending on the condition. Good evening from Poland, Richard Lewis. Hello, how are you? I must have I've got subscribers now from Poland as well. Jim Timber is from Poland, and Richard Lewis is now in Poland. Welcome. I'm Polish. Do I have Dziękuję bardzo, na razie, stuff like that. Not very, very little Polish. So we've 5 minutes left, guys. If anyone wants to throw me a few more questions. Good mate, I'm a Brit here. That's here. All right. Okay. Cool. What part of Poland are you in? I've been to Krakow a few times. Like everyone else, I've done the usual: the salt mines, Auschwitz, Birkenau, Schindler's Factory, stuff like that. Very good pronunciation. I doubt that now very much. I intend to collect all the cap badges from the British troops that fought in the tank battle of Overloon. Hello, I'm here at last. Boy, I'm stuffed. I'm stuffed with it all, DDRT, etc. Well, we're signing off now shortly in about 5 minutes then, because you're late. No, I'm only joking. You're more than welcome. Bimetal Lancashire cap badges between 10 and 50 pounds. There you go. There is the right man to talk to. Warsaw Southwestern Comb. It was Germany. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I like most tourists or most Irish, that's where I've headed for is Krakow. I would love to go to Warsaw, but I do know a lot of people that went to Warsaw said there's not much history there. Because what was there got flattened during the Second World War and they rebuilt it all, whereas with Krakow and places like that, it is still pretty much there. Yeah. So. More climbing. My China was asleep this afternoon. Poles help liberate Barda and delay in the Netherlands general. Not a hero. You're right about Warsaw. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll try and get back to Krakow one of the days. Although I do want to go see, and I believe Jim Timber is in that area. I want to go see where the Great Escape was, the prison camp where the Great Escape was, because that was in Poland. And I do believe you can still see the footprints of the prison barracks. Yeah, I'd like to go see that. Right, guys, we're coming up on the hour. We normally give it an hour. Sagen, yeah, that's the place. We're coming up in an hour, so I'll give you 5 minutes there if you want to just throw any more questions at me. If not, I will log off. Stay tuned for the weekend because we will have some videos. We will have this coming up. There is a part 1, 2, and 3. I'm not telling you when, but there is a part 1, 2, and 3 of a British Army ration pack. Actually, quite nice, believe it or not. There is the Herefordshire Regimental Museum video coming up. There is the Victory Show video coming up. And that's it. That's all I'm telling you. So figure it out. Stay tuned. Have a great evening. Naraja, Piękna, all that type of stuff, Jim. Are you going to watch Kathleen in Poland? Are you going to watch Kathleen in Poland? No, Helen the Pacific movie, top drawer. Looking forward to the videos. Have a great weekend. Exactly, lads. Have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. Enjoy yourselves. And look after yourselves. And I will see you all next Friday, 8 o'clock. Same time, same channel, same place. Enjoy, guys.